All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we're going to talk about something that can completely end the cryptocurrency bull market that we're in right now and why. Okay, so we're going to look at that. We're going to look at all the news updates that have happened since our live stream yesterday, check on the cryptocurrency markets, and a whole lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. Okay, so we do these live streams here, Monday through Friday, about 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So if you want to show up at that time, we'll be here. You can turn on notifications, all that kind of stuff. Last but not least, it's not financial advice. Nothing I'm saying in this video is to try to persuade you to buy or sell any cryptocurrency based on this information. So just get that out of the way. Let's go ahead and get started. Got people jumping in the chat here. We got Culture Hives, Gilsuck, Cahoon, Robbie, Michael, Clairvoyant Alliance, Half the Calories, VIP Legal Education. Michael, awesome. Welcome. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So I want to talk about a big factor that literally could end the cryptocurrency bull market that we're in as we know it. All right. We've talked about, are we in boom and bust cycles for cryptocurrency? Will it kind of be like the last time, or is this time different? Okay. Are we on an up-only trajectory that's going to defy everyone's expectations, and the prices of cryptocurrency might have some ups and downs, but generally is going to go upward for a long time. We still don't know the answer to that question, but I want to talk about a factor today that could firmly plant us in the first category in a boom and bust cycle, and what could be a major contributor to the bust itself. Okay, so we got a clue about this yesterday that was kind of floating around on Twitter. I know people got really concerned about this, which is Tesla selling off $272 million worth of its Bitcoin purchase that it did earlier this year. Now, I'll stop right now and be very clear. I'm not saying this event right here that you're looking at in this news article is like the top for the crypto markets. I'm not saying this is the thing that could cause the cryptocurrency bull run to end that we're part of right now. That's not what I'm saying. But let me draw you to a bigger point, which is we saw this, with this happen. Earlier this year, we were watching all these live streams. We saw, Tesla buy in. Everybody's super excited because it was, major validation for the space. It was super early in the bull run. People were kind of starting, people were still kind of saying, hey, is this thing real? Are we taking this seriously? It's awesome that the cryptocurrency prices have gone up, but that's just sort of crypto. Like everybody's just kind of on walking on eggshells waiting for it to crash back down again. At least I was, and a lot of people that I know were kind of thinking the same thing. There's a lot of doubters out there. When you start to see people like, institutions like Tesla come in and buy, $1.5 billion of Bitcoin for their balance sheet, it starts to kind of confirm the rumors that, oh, institutions are in it this time. This time is different, all this kind of stuff. So it was huge, all right, whenever they first jumped on board. A huge validation for the space. We're like, oh, this is awesome. Like this means this bull market can really happen because institutions can buy in much bigger size than individuals can. You only need, a handful of really, wealthy institutions to put a small percentage of their holdings into cryptocurrency markets to really move the markets. You need a ton of retail investors to move the markets in the same way. So, this is one of the things that could be a blessing and a curse for the overall markets. So in the past, we've always talked about, crypto markets being run by whales, or at least highly influenced by whales. Well, guess what? We have new whales in the game. The institutions. They're going to have crypto holdings that are plenty the same size as a lot of the crypto whales. Now, that being said, they don't have the same experience in crypto as the whales do. They don't have all this kind of stuff, but it's sort of like going to a poker game, all right? And you have like all these players in the poker game, and you got everybody who knows how to play poker. The last thing you want at a poker game when you got a bunch of people who are good at poker is like one or two people at the table who aren't good at poker and totally blow the psychology of what's going on. It's really hard to read somebody who's bad at poker because they're completely unpredictable. So it could have a very similar type of situation where you have the institutions that are playing by a different set of rules in the OG crypto whales. And, when they start selling, it could be bad for the crypto markets. It could be really bad for the crypto markets. So you can think about it this way. Of course, going back to the news here, I'm going to clarify. We're not talking about Tesla just like completely yanking their entire holding. We're talking about shaving off, $272 million from its big purchase. So, but let me just talk about the psychology of this. Think about just think about it an individual's perspective. Let's say you bought into the cryptocurrency markets and you crossed some major amount of money. Say for most people, like their sort of pie in the sky dream would be like making $1 million in cryptocurrency. So let's say you crossed $1 million in cryptocurrency, and then you know, like you've never made $1 million before. And it's it's the most amount of money you've ever had in your entire life. At some point, like you're just gonna sell it, right? You're gonna take some money off the table because it's now a life-changing amount of money. So the same type of thing is for institutions. So what if an institution puts money in the crypto markets and now it's got like, billions of dollars? They're gonna start taking some money off the table. When they start taking billions of dollars off the table, it's just human nature. That's probably what's going to happen for other institutions. They're going to follow suit. It's going to have a pretty big effect on the market. And it very likely could be the thing that eventually, tanks it. So part of it, you have to think about other terms. These institutions are much more sophisticated investors in many cases, not always, many cases, than just retail investors, right? So, they're going to be playing by a different set of rules. Of course, they're going to be buying larger cap cryptocurrencies, large amounts of money, like Bitcoin, for example. So think about it. You have to think about also not about percentage of your portfolio or your ROI in percentage terms, but the actual amount that you have exposed into the markets. So when you have $1 billion, billion with a B, in the crypto markets, and now you get a 2x, of course, a lot of people think, 2x in crypto, it's not very much. But it's still a 2x on $1 billion. It's $1 billion. You do not want $1 billion to just get flushed down the drain. And especially if you're a publicly traded company, you do not, your shareholders don't want you to flush $1 billion down the drain. There's all this, it's all these different dynamics. So these are definitely the things that could affect the crypto markets that we have to think about. So the whole point there is institutions, it can be a double-edged sword. It can be awesome at the beginning of the bull run. We see all this buying pressure, but if we see the selling pressure happen, then it could basically be, a curse. It could be a blessing and a curse. Blessing at the beginning, curse at the end. So I hope that doesn't happen. But this is something that I see potentially looming on the horizon that we definitely need to be prepared for. And yeah, I think we're seeing, some hints about this with this story that came out. And I'm not saying this is bad. I'm not, blaming anybody. I mean, if I had $1 billion in the cryptocurrency markets and I had made like a 2x, which I don't think they have quite yet, but if I made a 2x off $1 billion, I would be taking money off the table personally. So you just have to think about it that way. So, we got people's questions in the chat here. Elmer Fudd. So here's the thing. I'm not saying FUD here. If you're new around crypto, what is FUD? It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm trying to, what you don't want to do is be overly optimistic and not think of counterpoints, because that's the quickest way to getting absolutely wrecked. Because if you're just totally like, permeable without any, critical thought, you can wind up in trouble really fast. Everybody who was a permabull in 2018 or 2017 at the top of the market had to, they endure a lot of pain. Sure, they're right long term, like the price is higher now than it was in 2017, but trust me, I was there at the entire crash, lost a lot of money, watch everyone get really depressed for a long time, and that's a hard thing that most people aren't going to go through. They're not going to hold through all that. All right, so let's just look at a little market update. See what's going on with the cryptocurrency prices. So let's look at start with Bitcoin. So $55,000. All right. So we're seeing a little bit of relief from the dumping that's been happening. Yeah, as always, I'm a big trader, not a big TA guy. I don't think we're at the top of the market or anything like that. I don't really know what's going to happen next. I don't know what is on the horizon for the prices. I'm going to do mostly what I always do in these markets, which is basically nothing. Let's check on ETH as well. Oh, 2,600, right? Nice. So I didn't even realize this when I was getting ready for the stream this morning. So this is awesome. So I'm finding out about this with you all. So it looks like we're at a new all-time high. Yep, 2,640. Yep, 2,630. Yep. Awesome. New ETH all-time high. Yeah, that makes me happy. So somebody asked me a lot, like, why do I talk about ETH so much on this channel? Well, it's because I am a blockchain developer with ETH. I've worked with Ethereum protocol for, since 2017, a long time. Watch this space day in and day out. ETH is one of my largest holdings, or is my largest holding. I believe in technology, a lot for the long term. So it makes me happy to see ETH at all-time high. So I always tell you all that, full disclosure, like where I'm coming from. Nice. Awesome. So I'd love to see ETH continue on this trajectory. Let's check on the ETH BTC ratio, see how it's doing against Bitcoin. I'll pull this up on the chart. Sometimes this is hard to load. So 0.47. Let's see here. Yeah, so a new all-time high here. So what is the ETH BTC ratio? So basically, this is dividing the ETH price by the Bitcoin price. You're really answer the question: how many Bitcoin does it take, or how much Bitcoin is one ETH worth? So if you go back and look at the Ethereum price, the prices are always just ratios of two things. It's a pair. It's like a trading pair. So basically, if you're looking at Ether, this is the ETH to US dollar pair. You're saying how many US dollars does it take to buy one Ether? Similarly, you're saying how many, ETH, how many Bitcoin does it take to buy one Ether? So here you're saying 0.04 Bitcoin will buy you one Ether. So we track this metric because we want to see how Ether is performing compared to the Bitcoin price. So when we see this ratio climbing, it basically means that ETH is, if we see this on the rise, it means that ETH is doing better than Bitcoin, essentially. When it's going down, it basically means that ETH, Bitcoin's outperforming ETH. At that point, you can see the sort of price history here, all that kind of stuff, right? We saw it here in 2017. It was pretty nuts. You can also track the flipping. So we talk about this. Basically, some people ask me all the time, like, can ETH flip Bitcoin? What does that mean? Well, it means can Ethereum, can it become the #1 market cap cryptocurrency? So if you look at a website like CoinGecko.com, the question here is, can Ethereum become this coin right here? Because if you go to this homepage, then all these coins are they're sorted by market cap. So Bitcoin is #1. Here's the market cap. Ethereum is #2. Here's the market cap. So we can track this BTC ratio to see what a theoretical number would be, where this ratio has to be in order for the for that to happen. So you can go to ratiogang.com, and this will show you where we are right now, where they think it should be, and then this is the ratio that it would need to be for it to actually flip it. And you can see that would be at a price point of $8,913. Basically, that's what ETH would have to do. 2.5-ish X in order to do that. So let's see, we got other questions in the chat here. So many people lost money shorting. Yes, I would not recommend shorting, especially if you're a beginner. So let me tell you about shorting. If people don't understand what it is, there's a lot of what I would call advanced trading techniques that most beginners should not really be taking part of. I'm fine with these things existing. We build this stuff with blockchain technology for advanced traders, hedge funds, all that kind of stuff. But I'll show you what like shorting is. Some people are brand new, don't understand the concept. It's important to understand, especially like if you saw the Wall Street bet saga that happened earlier this year. So basically, like the Wall Street bets saga was when the hedge fund short squeeze happened. The Reddit group that basically triggered that. So what is a short? Well, it's basically whenever you borrow an asset. And then you owe that asset back to the person you borrow it from. So why would you do that? So basically, like, think about getting a loan. Like, when you borrow a loan, a lot of times you're borrowing, like, if you're in America, right, or just anywhere, you potentially borrow your currency, US dollar. So you're saying basically, hey, Mr. Lender, like, give me, $100 or something, or $1,000, and I'll pay you back $1,000. That's what I owe you. But in shorting, you borrow a different asset like a stock or a cryptocurrency. So if you want to short, let's just say like Bitcoin, for example. Basically, you're borrowing Bitcoin. Okay, you borrow Bitcoin, they lend it to you. And why would you do that? Well, basically, you're betting on the price of Bitcoin going down when you're shorting. So you instantly sell your Bitcoin for dollars. So let's say like, Bitcoin is at $55,000. Well, if you think Bitcoin price is going down, you can borrow Bitcoin, and then if the price goes down to, let's say, $20,000, which I don't think it's going to do, I'm just using this for example purposes, then you could, when it's at $55,000, you instantly sell it for dollars. You wait for the price to drop down to $20,000, and then you buy it back, and then you return it to the lender. And then you rebought Bitcoin at $20,000, and you essentially made like a $35,000 profit. All right, you get to keep the difference. Like, the lender just wants the thing you borrowed back, no matter how much it costs. Right, that's what shorting is. That's how people are making money when the price is going down. You bet on the price going down if you're right. Problem with shorting is there's very limited downside. Very limited upside. You know what I mean? And there's a ton of risk that you're just gonna go to zero. Like, you could just very easily lose everything with shorting. That's why, it's one of the reasons that I think it's just a lot better for most people just to buy low, sell high. You have kind of limited downside when you're talking about a big asset like Bitcoin, for example, and a lot of upside potential, compared to other things, right? Compared to just like investing in the S&P 500. Of course, not financial advice. I'm also not a big believer on leverage trading, especially for beginners. I think most people should not leverage trade. So let's see here. We got somebody's basically asking me how long does it take to take one of these courses and go from zero to Solidity developer. So Solidity is the primary language used for blockchain development, especially on top of Ethereum right now. So I've had people go through that program and with not any coding experience and literally get a job in 2 months. Okay, so I mean that's definitely that's the it's the exception, not the rule, for sure. I tell people basically set a goal in mind. Try to set a realistic goal of like several months. It depends on where you're starting from. If you're a programmer already, or if you're just brand new. If you're brand new, you might want to set a longer timeline. It depends on, do you have all day to code? Do you have a job? Do you have kids? All that kind of stuff. I would basically say, set aside a dedicated amount of time every week, and then start seeing how fast you progress in that. And then I put out a video yesterday talking about sort of a plan for how you can get your first job in the blockchain world from a technical perspective. And basically just starting on down that plan, seeing how fast you progress towards those goals, and then adjusting your timelines based on that. This is how much money can you make coding. So we looked at the statistics in the thing the other day. Let's see here. So basically, it's a good question. I'll show you what it looks like I'll show you what blockchain looks like compared to other professions. Okay, so let's see here. So the average blockchain developer salary, like on a website like ZipRecruiter, the national average here in America is $154,000 per year. Okay, so you can see there's the reason that average is, you have to read the data a little bit. There's a lot of people making a lot more than that who are going to be very advanced, who kind of skew the average. But you can see this kind of median, or maybe mode right here. We can see the most common range is in the $124,000-ish range, so 116 to 136. So this is, you definitely need some experience to get into this, right? But you can see that even beginners are still making pretty good salaries. Of course, this is on an online recruiting platform, so you might want to see what are their numbers compared to other people's. But you can just see how it compares to other professions, even on their platform. So like web developer is like half. Some simply like, what's the average salary for web developer? This is it. Well, what's the average salary for a blockchain developer? Is this? So I think about it is like, I've seen this a lot. I'm working on projects where I'm hiring developers. It's really hard to find skilled blockchain developers. And a lot of times what I've had to do lately is just like hire people who are good developers and then like train them for what I need them to do within the blockchain sphere. Because it really is getting insanely hard to find good blockchain developers, and the ones out there can make a lot. Okay, so I've also seen this on other projects where people are having to do the same type of thing. So if you're an experienced developer, like you might be able to get hired like now and just learn blockchain on the job, just because the market is so white hot based on the demand that's happening right now. As much as they have a background in cybersecurity, how I can move into blockchain space. So I had somebody else do the exact same thing. So that's they retrained through our programs, and they were able to get a job pretty quickly. Honestly, just learning the foundations, the fundamentals. We watched that video published yesterday, basically on how to make money in crypto risk-free without trading. It's about sort of a step-by-step plan on how to get into the blockchain industry. Literally following that guide will get you there. How do you deploy a mobile app with Web3? You'd still publish the mobile app like you would any other mobile client, but you would connect to Web3 mostly through some sort of library like Ethers.js or Web3.js. If you're building the mobile client in something like what's it called, Expo or something like that, or React Native. If you're assuming you're building it in JavaScript, but if you're building it in another language, you might have to find a different library. You might have to like handle some of the RPC calls to your Ethereum node potentially. Maybe build a signer that works on your wallet if you're going to host the private keys on the device. But if you're building in JavaScript, definitely any of the JavaScript libraries that talk to Ethereum will work. Yes, there is a new ETH all-time high. Especially yesterday's upload. Yeah, so I'll just show you the video on my channel right now. So I'll just show you. So this is the video that I'm talking about. This one right here. This basically has a plan on how you could make that transition. So Coinbase, somebody say Coinbase started ETH staking. I haven't confirmed that yet. That would be awesome if they did. All right, everybody, I got to wrap up early today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you're as fascinated with technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? Maybe like some of these people in the live stream who are asking like, hey, I'm this, I got this background, I got that technical background, I want to get into blockchain as fast as I can. You can go to that YouTube homepage that I showed you about. I'll even show you these free courses there. You can check out any of these Ethereum development courses, okay? They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. If you like those, you want to hit the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely. Actually, become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. Again, you don't have to be an expert to get started today. Help people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. All right, so that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for